look a little crooked. There we go. Oh. Comments will appear here. There we go. What do we got? Get out of there. Okay. Check, check. Anybody around? There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can... Hi, Bobby. Hey, Robin. All right. Everybody's joining in now. I'm here. Clock starts now, says Robin. Hi, Bobby. Robin's got my clock ticking. I get about 30 minutes to talk. Ever since my fall off the ladder, my back is a little messed up, so I've been on the couch. One of the things I did want to talk about was hook size. One of the members sent me a picture of her project, and she held it up to the light. And when she did, you could see holes where the color changes were, and through the top of the stitches almost looks kind of like a lace stitch. It's because she's using an L hook for Graphghan, and the holes were so big because of that. If your stitches are too big, you're going to get holes. So I advised her to go down a couple hook sizes. If you have holes, they're too big. So I thought I'd mention that tonight. Hi, Susan. What else do we got going on? I hope everybody's ready with their Christmas gifts. Hi, Lisa. So, I know everybody's down to the wire and frantically crocheting to finish up what they're working on. Hi, Mary. There's so many exciting things coming out and being tested and going on, and it's exciting. I can't wait to see all the new things that are going to come out this year. Robin says she's still working on all her Christmas gifts. Hi, Mary. Yeah, so hi, Becky. So I don't know if we really have a lot of questions this evening. I did finish the Tunisian corner-to-corner scarf that was done in the Tunisian knit stitch. That has been gifted, and I am working up an ear warmer in that. That's worked in the corner-to-corner pattern as well with the Tunisian knit stitch. I will be doing a video in January about how to do the full stitch increases and how to decrease and maintain. Robin says she's still having problems getting her color changes with these right. Yeah, color changes can be a bit difficult, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't like single crochet so much until I found Angela's color changes. I think that they really, really helped for single crochet. That's the cleanest method I've found for the single crochet. For the Tunisian, I get mixed reviews. Some people like my color change, some people like the one that's taught on YouTube, and I am all about whatever works for you. I didn't like the back of my projects. And there's projects that you're going to do in Tunisian that you're not even going to see the back, like a pillow, so whatever works for you. Hey, Patience, haven't seen you for a while. I can do the single crochet now. I did see that your heart was coming out really good. It's getting these ones right. It takes a little bit of practice. Let me see if I can find my large disaster. This is something that is being tested, and it has a million bobbins each row. Well, not quite a million. It has about 30 bobbins each row. So 30 bobbins each row is something that I definitely would say that a pattern designer needs to put on there, that you need to be familiar with bobbins and have some practice with them. And this is the beginning, and it's like a buffalo plaid project. Let me see if I can get to where I'm just casting on the rows where the black is going to start for here. And I wanted something subtle. As you know, my house does not have a lot of red, so I found this variegated color, and it matches the wine color really nice. And they are, let's see, this is autumn red, and then this one is called sunset, and it actually has purples and browns and the same autumn red that runs through it. So I thought the subtle color changes would show for these blocks, which they are. You know, when you're working on it, you can't see it because you're so up close to it. But yeah, the buffalo plaid is taking a lot longer to come out. I'm testing this for Colleen. The 40 blocks, or the it's like got 30 color changes in a row. So yeah, it's nice on one hand because, you know, everything's all cast on, but on the other hand, if you're not familiar with bobbins and trying to play with them and get them all in order and everything else, I think a lot of people are going to have a tangled mess. I like things that are worked short-wise, because then you would only have like 10 bobbins. So, Lisa says she loves my color change method. Thomas says hello, long time no see. Hi, Thomas. Susan said, tension isn't the best on my current one. Lots of one-stitch colors, and they come loose as I go. Yes, they do. The one-stitch ones are very difficult because you can't work over your tail. The only way that I found for the one-stitch to hold is to loop it over loop the two tails together like you're tying your shoe, but only once. So that way when you tug it, it will kind of hold. Yeah, one stitches are very, very difficult. Hi, Yvette. Robin said, yeah, I tried the buffalo plaid. LOL, no way, it was a mess. Mine, so I'm trying others first before I go back to it. Yes, the buffalo plaid, it does come out very pretty. The bobbins are a giant pain in the butt. I think, like I said, if something is buffalo plaid, the easiest way to do it is the narrowest way. This is going to be, I think, like 70 rows. So, that way you would have only had like 7, 8, 9 bobbins across if you had your border on each side. So that would have, I think, made it a little easier, user-friendly. But, you know, I think everything, too, in the eye of the designer is whatever's easiest for you guys, too. In another post, not in my group, but I seen that a few people were very frustrated because they're left-handed, and I said to the one lady, I said, you know, I don't think I've ever worked with a designer that if you absolutely like their pattern, you could not PM them and say, hey, I'm still willing to buy the pattern for a blank amount, but I am left-handed. Could you give me the left-handed directions? But, you know, I also stated that I have seen some left-handers, even in my personal classes, you know, that I'm teaching, they've added a row so that they can follow the written. So I think that's a good thing to know as well. Let's see, we've got Leslie's watching. I made it this week. Yes, you did. Hi, Marcia. Susan, you're welcome for the tip. Hi, Lenora. Hi, Tina. Hi, Alex. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Bella. Hi, Owen. Hi, Colton. Robin says left-handed directions can be given now on a lot. If they have the one program, they can. Yeah, I think that a lot of the designers that I have worked with over time, they all use pretty much the same program. So I think that it would probably be a good thing that if you maybe sell on Etsy or whatever site you're selling on, maybe, you know, since it is so popular to have right-handed directions, I think a good selling point, you know, is if a lot of designers did put on their site, left-handed directions are available at the same cost, or I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Hi, Mary. I'm in the car finishing up Christmas. I hate to, but I have to go. Well, you can watch us later. Alex and Jacob heard you, says Tina. That's what I do. Odd is just add a, that's what I do. Is just add a row. Yeah, that's what I found for a lot of the people that I'm working with in person do, is add a row, because, you know, a lot of times if you want to work on something and it's not available left-handed, then people just buy the right-handed, and reading rows backwards, and it can get really confusing, especially for a first project. So I find that that kind of helps to have it, you know, a lot of mine, when I first started, a lot of patterns weren't written out. You were only able to get the graph, so I would sit with coffee in the morning and write my patterns out. Crystal said, they said, hi, Nana. Hi, babies. Robin, right, they should if they're selling. I think it would be a good selling point on a lot of these designers' pages, especially for Graphghans, is that written instructions are available. I think a lot of designers would be open to a PM from a customer, you know, hey, I need it left-handed, can you? What else? Yeah, so I'm testing a pattern. I have the bobble stitch blanket that I'm still working on. It's been a little hard for me. Like I said, I'm pretty much stuck on the couch right now with my back. So when I see the doctor Friday, they're going to decide what they're going to do. So I think they are probably going to send me for some MRIs. So that'll be fun. So I hope everybody's got their Christmas stuff just about done. We have some wrapping left to do here. And my yarn wall, yes, it's growing still. Did we have any questions about anything that's going on? I know Teresa, I think, I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but I think it's Terilli, was asking about adding bobbins and doing the purl stitch on the left side. So yeah, I did post a video on her post about that. Thomas says he hasn't even started yet. Shame on me. Yeah, mine, I've got some wrapping to do. Hi, Colin. But, yeah, so like I said, I wanted something subtle. You know, the black is coming in on the next rows, which you can see they're just getting added to these. So I'm going to have the buffalo plaid. But I do like that this is variegated and it pulls this color in, but it's not so red. The red was really bright for me. Becky says, no, I've finally been released from the surgeon to start knitting and crocheting. Yay, it's about time. You've been having problems for a while now. Leslie said, I'm ready, but it's a small scale event here. Yes, ours is small scale too, but it seems like a lot. Robin says, big bobbins here, have used perm rod, clothespins, you name it, whatever is handy, I will use it for a bobbin, including sandwich Ziploc bags. Yeah, I've tried a good bit of that. With this one, I have even bought these and am using them. I think they're actually made for jewelry making stuff. I don't know, but yeah, I'm trying those as well. Hi, Dawn. I'm trying those as well. Like I said, I'm kind of limited on what I can do since I'm kind of stuck on the couch, so that's making things a little bit difficult. Lisa says, no questions, but did get an order and have received Knitter's Pride Tunisian hooks. Yay for the Christmas bonuses. Yes, I think you're really going to love them. I cannot remember where I got mine from. I know that you can get them from eBay online. I know you can get them from Amazon online. You can get them from Walmart online. I did order a set, and since they're made in India, if they don't come through the actual Knitter's Pride thing, someone was stating on one of the websites that that's when you get the rounded ones. I did end up with a set of the rounded ones, but I can't remember where I ordered them from. I do not like them as much as the pointy ones. Those, I was a little disappointed. Yes, Robin says she has some of these used with the Kimiho. Yeah, I have that disc thing, and I just haven't had time to mess with it. Leslie, I like those, but I wish they were bigger. They're for thread. Actually, they do have bigger ones. Here's the big one. Here's the small one. I only have 4 or 3 of the big ones. But I wanted to try them out. They were on clearance where I was, so I picked them up to try them. I did see one lady had run, she took a clothes hanger and unscrewed the top and then ran them through the clothes hanger and then wired it back up and hung it, and she said she was having some success that way. I've not tried that yet. Like I said, currently I've been banished to the couch this week. I can barely move. So, yeah, it's not been fun. So, yeah, Leslie, they have the bigger ones, but like I said, I think I only got 3 in the package I got. Of course, it flipped my camera around. And how do I flip it back around? There we go. There I am. Go on Amazon. I looked on Amazon, but I couldn't find the bigger ones. Becky says, I think I remember you got yours from Knit Picks. The Knitter's Pride hooks, like I said, I ordered a set from Amazon. I ordered a set from, I want to say Walmart online. And then I ordered one from eBay. The eBay ones came from Knit Picks. So I want to say the Walmart ones maybe came from the India that they're rounded. I'm going to have to check. I will be ordering some more after the beginning of this year for students in my class. And I think I'm going to actually try the Walmart one again and see if I get the pointed ones. Because Walmart seems to have the lowest price sometimes. Leslie, I have a paper towel holder they go on. Yeah, my paper towel holder is pretty thick, so like I said, I might try the clothes hangers, but right now where I'm at in the living room, there's no place to hang it from, so. Robin says, you have 10 minutes, then back to the couch. Yes, I told her I will not be on this evening very long. I am in quite a bit of pain. Mark says, Thomas says, you need, I don't know how it is in English, but chiropractic. Actually, I'm missing a disc in my back. And I have several that are herniated and bulging, and I fell off of a 10-foot ladder. And I need knee surgery on top of all that, so that's compounding all of this. They think that that disc maybe slipped, and the spinal cord may be getting pinched. So, unfortunately, I sat at the emergency room for a long time, but they didn't really do much. They told me to see my PCP. Robin, she has discs out of place. Yes, I do. It's you know, Robin and I have the discussion a lot that it's unfortunate when you have something like that wrong that can't be fixed surgically. You kind of live with it every day. So, yeah, it's just something you begin to live with, and when I fell, I really hurt it this time. Lisa says from Amazon they are rounded. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. I probably actually will order from Walmart and Amazon and see which ones I get that are rounded, because those are not the ones that I want my students to get, so I want to make sure that I do it right. So, Robin, if any numbness sets in, don't wait, go back. Yeah, I've been getting some in my lower extremity, so it's been pretty bad lately. That's just why I can't really sit still up here for very long. Yeah, they said, Robin, about the surgery, and they said they wanted to put it off for as long as they could, because there's a 50% chance they could make it a better, and at this point, 50% chance it would be worse, and I don't want to be any worse. So, yeah. what else did I want to talk about? I know that we talk extensively about gauge and why it's so important and things like that. And I've run several polls in my group. I've run several polls at places that I teach at, craft shows that I've gone to, that I've showcased my work, classes that I teach in different areas, with different skill sets of people that are from everywhere from just learning to experienced. And I cannot say enough about gauging things. It is so, so important. And it's not just for Graphghans or for, you know, there's so many things a Tunisian can be used for. Everything from scarves to you know, clothing to anything. And it is so, it is super important. There's a graph group that designs some graphs, and again, I've gotten comments from people that are messaging me that want help with them because they want to do them in TSS. Please take the time to look over our broken lines post. I ultimately, tomorrow morning, I will bump that post. A lot of designs that are designed for corner to corner, they have the broken lines. And by a broken line, when you go around the outline of your pattern, every one of those outline blocks should be connected either vertically or horizontally. No diagonal connections. Those do not work in single crochet, any of the non-cluster stitches. And when I say non-cluster, I mean the single stitches like single crochet, Tunisian simple stitch, Tunisian knit stitch, half double crochet, even double crochet. The only way that those blocks kind of work is if you've got a corner to corner pattern and you're doubling it. So, you know, I really, it's so important to look over your pattern and color in those lines. I can't tell you, I'm probably a member of 180 different crochet sites, and that's, it's probably more than that, but, you know, you learn when you do this, and it's, you know, I've seen so many people that do stuff, and they get those jagged lines, and they don't know why, and that is why, and, you know, and I think that's another frustrating thing, is there's so many learning groups, and people will get those jagged lines, and they'll ask a question like, why do I have this, or how can I fix it? And so many people will go on the post, and they'll say, oh, it looks fantastic, you did an awesome job. Yes, it does look fantastic, you did an awesome job. But, you know, if somebody comments to fix those lines, then it seems like people are getting upset. And, you know, I don't think anybody wants to upset or discourage a new crocheter. And I think that that's one thing in our group. I will give kudos where kudos is due. I think a lot of you guys have done fantastic jobs on things. And I don't want any of my members to get disheartened when I say, you've done a fantastic job, but if you incorporate your border on your next one, or if you colored in these lines, this is a learning group, and that's what I want. I want people to be able to take the constructive criticism and take it and learn from it. You know, and that's what I like about this being a teaching group. You know, I know people, a lot of people that, you know, they all want positive feedback, and I think that that's great. And I do think that if you've done a new project, I've done new projects, and then I stood back and was like, I don't like this. And if there was somebody that would tell me what to do to fix it, I would have done that. And that's why I like this group, and that's why I started it. So, you know, I think that if you get the honesty, that you need to just think on it. Is it something I want to do? Oh, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. You know, actually, you know, take it and look at it. See what these other people have done. You know, I've gotten criticism about projects, and I've gone back and looked over stuff, you know, and that was one of the things too. A couple of my first projects, I absolutely hated them, and I thought, oh, if this is what this stitch looks like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Because I didn't like the way that the back looked, or I didn't like the way the color changes were, or I didn't like, and I learned, you know, and I think that's the thing too. And I think that's one of the reasons I like swatches so much. You can go in and make a small swatch and practice a color change. You can go and make a small swatch and practice a certain stitch and see what it's going to look like, or, you know, and then step back from it, and then you're not frogging something that's 240 stitches wide, that's a 60-inch throw. And I think that, you know, I think a lot of us do want to hear the truth, and I think that there are a few people that are, I think that no matter what, where you go, there's always going to be the people that are like, oh, they did a great job, why are you even bringing this up? I think that if it's a learning site, then I think that the people that know should say, hey, next time if you, or if you try this, you know, and I think that's one of the things that's so big with me. I'm always going to be learning. I'm going to be learning to the day that I die. You know, just Robin, I'm 57, I'm still learning and willing to learn from others. Exactly. If you're not willing to expand your knowledge, then to some people, I think, why are you even crafting? Because crafting is constantly learning. There's always new materials coming out, new, you know, new glues, new yarns, new types of beads, new ways to do stuff, new instruments that come out to try stuff, whether you're using the Cricut machine or, you know, there's new hooks that are coming out, new stitches, you know, new ways to try stuff. And to me, I like experimenting because I think it makes me grow and I learn more. I'm always open to criticism. I don't think we're ever going to know everything. Thomas says, I'm only 37 and hopeless sometimes. I don't think we're hopeless. I think we get frustrated sometimes, and I think that it's easy to do, but, you know, sometimes you just got to step back and look at what you got and, well, I'll try that. Robin, I got new hooks and don't like them. I've done that too. I think we all have. I think I will give them away for angel gifts. That's a good idea. It is. That's one of the things that I've been surprised is not for sale in my area. I will see people sell yarn or whatever, but mostly I see knitting needles. I do go on Facebook on my buy sell trade pages by me and try to find crochet hooks for the classes I teach, because I do give hooks out with the classes that I do teach. And the Tunisian ones, I let a lot of the students try the different hooks. I do have several different kinds, and I want people to have the opportunity that I didn't have in trying the different hooks out in person before you order one or two and get them and, oh, you don't like them. Thomas says, the difficulty for me is that I don't understand always what is needed to do, and getting help is sometimes pretty much difficult because no one really understands what I want. It is difficult, especially when there's a language barrier. So, yeah, that makes it difficult. I need a 2mm one yet, Robin says. The 2mm Tunisian hook I found in only one set online, and it's the fixed hooks. Boy, is it small. I'm used to working with the J hook for regular Tunisian crochet, and this is like working with thread. It's very, very, it's very small. It's like working with the Aunt Lydia's number 10 thread. Leslie said language barriers can be difficult sometimes. Yes, it can. And that's another thing. You know, I do have members message me about things that I've not tried. And I don't mind trying some things, but sometimes y'all got to be patient and let me work up something and play around with it. Robin, I'm getting pinged. I know, I see you. Yes, I know, my time is up. Thomas says, tell me about it. My woman brought me crochet book in Spanish, and I had a problem. I didn't know what it's talking about as I'm taught in English. Yeah, it is hard. And, you know, I think it's difficult, too. There are some fantastic crochet books that I have seen, and I was looking at one, and it's only available, I think, in Dutch and, like, over in Germany. And I was like, oh, if I could just get the book. And then I looked at shipping, and the book was like $24, and then have to have it shipped here to America. It was going to be like $26. So I was like, I don't think so. So, yeah, that made it a bit difficult, too. But goodness, there's some great crochet books that I've seen. They're fantastic. They have some really great stuff in them and great ideas. And that's the thing, too. I think a lot of us that are learning really don't want to spend a lot of money to try something you may not like. I've had a lot of people say, what is your go-to hook? Because they decide they want to just try it. And I think that that's a smart way to go about it, because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, my go-to hook for regular crochet is an H hook. And then they order an H hook, and then they're Tunisian curls. So, I think that doing a little bit of research is good, especially if money's tight. You know, ask some people. Put a poll in a group. I think that's fantastic. Thomas said, well, 26 is cheap from here. It's more. Yeah, there was this one book, and it's, like I said, it's in Dutch, and it's crocheted animal, and like Amy Garami. I think they have heads, and, oh, no, it was, she has like Peter Rabbit and all this in it, and it was really cute. I thought it would be fantastic to make some for the kids for Easter, especially because I was going to gift them that and Peter Rabbit on DVD. But yeah, the book between buying it and having it sent here was going to be like $50. So I don't want to make them that bad. Do we have any more questions this evening? Because I am going to go return myself back to the couch, and there's several in Spanish also I have seen. Yes, there's some fantastic books out there. I'm always looking on eBay and looking up crochet books. I think I probably would own a library if I had more room. library of crochet books from around the world. Do we have any more questions this evening? Please feel free to ask questions in the group. We have mods that can answer things, and if they can't, they will gladly tag Angela or I, and we will get on there and get it answered. We'll get our videos done and everything else. So Leslie said, get some rest. I hope your back feels better. Thank you, Leslie. I think once I see the doctor and get some testing done, then I'll be glad to know a little bit more what's going on. Thomas says go to bed and get some rest. Thank you, Thomas. Well, we're going to be off for Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Have a great holiday. And if you guys need anything, make a post and I'll get back to you or message me. I hope you guys all have a fantastic holiday. Be safe and have a great time with your family. See you next time. Bye, guys.